Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of We Should Have Recorded That with Phil and
Adam.
Hey, Adam, how's it going?
Phil, I am. Oh, and here's B coming through the door.
Hey, Eric.
Eric is waving. If you're watching this on YouTube, well, let's just put it this way. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you may want to close the door again so that
No problem.
we can record in peace and quiet. B just got a bath, so that's why she
okay.
looks so fresh.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
She wanted to come share. She wanted to come share in her freshness, glory, and stuff like that.
Yes, well, she is beautiful, no matter what, right?
Yes.
Okay. We said my name, and how am I doing? I'm doing great, thanks. How are you, Phil?
I'm doing great. I'm doing good as well.
I'm glad that we are the kind of podcast that will just leave being interrupted by my dog in, rather than editing it out.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point? You know, we gotta.
What's the point? I know exactly, folks. This is real life here.
Yeah. So, people are still watching. You know, I've had someone ask me, are we still recording? I'm like, yeah, we're still recording. I released some episodes. You probably, you got a double dose. I think, yeah, at the beginning of this month. And so hopefully I'll try to be more consistent. I'm releasing the episodes monthly, but I hope you all enjoying. And if you are enjoying, please reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. Wouldn't we, Adam?
Yeah, No, of course we would. Yes.
Okay, you're not sure.
We would love to hear from you. So, yes, and we're always open to ideas about discussion topics. Here in the summer, we're like real low pressure catch-ups. But
yes,
during the school year, when Phil and I are both a little bit more structured with our time, we would love your ideas for conversations you'd like us to talk about, or maybe you have a suggestion for guests we can invite on. So Send us your ideas.
Yeah, please, we would love to hear. And so today, in following with that comment, those comments will be a less structured episode of us just kept catching up.
I mean, Phil, I just walked in the house after a month away, so
right.
I have to admit that I did not do much WSRTwPA homework while I was away. So I'm glad that I have your permission to keep tonight less structured.
Yeah, let's do it. So, I mean, let's talk about that. You were away for a month, so I know you said you were in Turkey. Did you spend the whole month in Turkey, or did you spend the whole time in Turkey?
No, I did. I wasn't in Turkey for a month. I was in Turkey for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Interesting fact: Turkey, the country, had petitioned to the United Nations, no longer to be called Turkey.
Really?
Isn't this fascinating? Instead, they would like the rest of the world, including the English-speaking world that has historically called them Turkey, to spell the country's name the way that the locals, in the local spelling, which is T-U with an umlaut, R-K-I-Y-E, and it's pronounced Türkiye. So, I have frequently, since I've been back, even said that I went to Turkey so that people know what I'm talking about. But I do want to be respectful of the desires of the Turkish people, or at least of the Turkish government, and say that I spent 2 weeks in Türkiye.
Türkiye, okay.
Yes.
So how was that?
And it was amazing. I am not being paid by the Tourism Bureau of Türkiye to say this. It was absolutely incredible. It exceeded my wildest hopes for the trip. It was. Did I tell you, Phil, why I chose Turkey as a destination?
No, you did not.
Okay. So I traveled, as our listeners will remember, I traveled to St. Petersburg, Russia, back in February on a study trip. And the conservatory assigned, there were several people who I had regular contact with at the conservatory, but one of the people who I spent a lot of time with in St. Petersburg was a student at the conservatory who was assigned to be like my guide when I was out in the city and not working. And he asked if we could travel together. He and I really hit it off. And said that would be great. But there's a limited number of places that Russian airlines are able to travel these days since the war with Ukraine broke out. But Turkey is one of them. So my friend Joe and I agreed to meet in Istanbul. And so that is why I chose Turkey. Having said that, although that was the reason I was there, now I have become quite the proselytizer for the country. If you have not been to Turkey and you want to go to an overseas European or Middle Eastern destination, I highly recommend Turkey. It is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So what was your maybe top 3 things, or maybe we could kind of do a combination of maybe top 3 places or things that you would suggest to people.
Okay. Istanbul was amazing. Pardon me. Istanbul is the largest city in Europe, actually. It has over 15 million people. It's huge. It's cosmopolitan. So Istanbul is amazing, but it's quite crowded because of its size. So I will say, instead, my 3 favorite destinations were part of the road trip portion of our trip. We rented a car and drove around the western half of the country. Top destination was Cappadocia, mentioned in the Bible. It is a place where early church monks carved monasteries into mountain rock caves, and chapels into caves, and early Christian art is featured in these caves. And then all over the region there are cave dwellings. The hotel, for example, where we spent 2 nights, was carved into a cave. Our bathroom was in a cave. So it was just really, really incredible. Really incredible region. So that would be number 1. Number 2 would be Pamukkale, which is referred to in the Bible as Hierapolis. And that is where these white travertines are located. The rocks have been bleached white by the sun, and these natural springs make pools of water that were known for their healing properties in the ancient world, and that they call it the Cotton Castle, the travertines, because they look so cottony. So Pamukkale would be number 2, and then number 3 would be the ruins in Ephesus. This is in the modern town of Selçuk. But the ruins of Ephesus are just unbelievable. The ruins of the ancient Roman city Ephesus. Oh my gosh. Amazing, amazing stuff. So that would be my top 3 locations for would-be Turkey travelers.
Ah, that's very cool. I mean, yeah, because a lot of those places definitely are mentioned in the Bible, and at least um, we have like a little later on. These are like churches
Yes.
that Paul probably visits and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean, I got to see Ephesus, Pergamon, Hierapolis, Cappadocia, um, and a number of biblical sites. I was going to go see Laodicea and Colossae, but I got COVID.
oh, really?
You didn't know that, Phil, did you?
I did not.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it was 3 days after leaving Istanbul. I was actually in Pamukkale, which I just described, and I woke up not feeling well, but I didn't think anything of it because we were going to go see the Travertines early in the morning to avoid the crowds. So we were at the gate by 6:30 in the morning, and I was just ignoring my body and doing the thing, or even went on a hike.
Wow.
And this is all part of the plan was that we would do this hike and do the Travertines and enjoy Pamukkale, and then return to the hotel for breakfast and a shower, and then leave the city and go on to our next place. So that was the plan. So we get back to the hotel and we sit down at breakfast, and almost immediately, oh, I'm so sorry for my yawns tonight. Almost immediately after sitting down at the breakfast, I just got, whoa. And I said to Joe, I'm like, I need to go back to the room. I need to lay down. So I go back to the room. I had brought some self-tests, some home COVID tests with me in my luggage. And I said, okay, maybe I should test. I wonder what this is. I tested, and yes, in fact, I was COVID positive. So, yeah, we tried to figure out whether we should stay where we were, whether we should extend our hotel stay at our next place, what we should do. In the end, because it was financially unfeasible to change our itinerary, we decided that for the next 5 days, we would simply drive to each new location, keep our hotel reservations, and Joe, who never got infected, would check us in, still wearing an N95 mask and protecting anyone around us. Then he would come get me, and me wearing my N95 mask would then go directly to the room and quarantine in these rooms for 5 days as required. And so the hang up is that Joe doesn't drive. I was the only driver on the trip. So
you did all the driving.
3.5 hours from Pamukkale to Antalya was not too bad. We get there, Joe checks us in, I go to the room. The next day, my first full day with COVID, I was probably conscious for about an hour out of the entire day. I woke up for about 15 minutes, fell back asleep. Woke up 4 hours later for about 15 minutes, fell back asleep. The fatigue was just unbelievable. And then the next day, my third full day with COVID, anyway, I had to drive over 7 hours with COVID to our next town. So, but God was good. I managed, and I didn't infect anyone, and Joe was the only one I could have infected, and he never had any symptoms and tested negative at the end of the trip. So, praise be to God.
Well, that's good, and I'm guessing you eventually tested negative. Did you have to test to fly home?
So you know how there are, I don't know, maybe you don't know this. I had to research it to know this. For first of all, while I was there, the Biden administration dropped testing requirements for entering the United States. So I did not need a test. I did not take a test before coming back to the United States.
Oh, okay.
And I knew that I was safe because by the point that I returned, it had been 10 full days since since I had been tested positive for COVID, and it actually had been more than 10 days, and I had no symptoms. My symptoms had completely resolved. So I knew that I was not contagious any longer. But I did take a pharmacy test, like a PCR test, when I got back to the U.S., and I was still testing positive.
Really?
Yes. Okay. I tested positive more than a full 2 weeks after my symptoms first manifested, which is not entirely unusual.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
But I feel so fortunate because if the United States had not dropped its testing requirements, I would have had to restart the clock.
Yes.
From the day that I was supposed to leave. So that didn't happen. I was fine, and I got to come home.
Right. Wow. Yeah. And I mean it's crazy. The just we're still dealing with COVID, everybody. I don't have any.
Indeed, we are. Phil, have you gotten COVID yet?
Once, at least once. I've tested positive once.
Oh man! I mean, it's no joke. It's no laughing matter, right? Like, people, we do need to be concerned. We should try not to get COVID because of even those of us who are vaccinated or boosted, and for whom COVID is not going to be life-threatening. It's just going to be an inconvenience and having to quarantine for 5 days, whatever. We should not try to get COVID because you can get long COVID and there are complications. Right. And, but yeah, having said that, gosh, I'm just ready for this pandemic to be done.
Me too. I've been seeing people wear masks. I'm not wearing a mask as much. But I've been seeing people wear masks, and so I'm always conscious. And I'm thankfully, other than the end of the year. I don't know if I mentioned this too before, but at the end of the school year, we had went mask optional, and students, I don't think they were having COVID. It was just a cold season. We were just going through
right.
And I ended up being hoarse like the second to last week of school.
Oh no!
Not like fatigue. No, I had lost my voice. It's so that was the first time that has happened to me since maybe like my sophomore year or my second or third year in undergrad. Still trying to be becoming a better singer. But I'd never been that hoarse. Before, and so it was crazy, but yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We can maybe switch topics here a little bit.
Well, I want to hear what you've been up to, but okay. Look, here's what happened the rest of the month. So before I left for Türkiye, only a few days, we recorded our last podcast. I was gone there for 2 weeks. I had a week back home, and then. With a bunch of, I have not been home enough this summer. I really, really have not been home enough. I squeezed into that month a travel to New York City and Toronto. So I need to stay home more. That's the moral of the story. And then this past week, I've been teaching at the Chehi Summer School of Music outside of Philadelphia. And yes, a third of the camp, it wasn't COVID, but a third of the camp had some sort of sore throat virus, really? I assume, by the end of camp, by the end of the first week. So, though you can imagine the tone quality of the choir by the concert, Dr. Potter, I'm having so much fun.
Right. Yes. I have to look into maybe participating in that one summer. Because I follow them on Instagram, and so I saw some of the stuff. I think I saw Dr. Backlund, I know from Delta State. She posted a picture of you all, because you're not on Facebook. It's so
Right.
I think she posted a picture of you all and some students together.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Cool.
what was a highlight from that other than the kids getting sick? Maybe not the concert.
Well, yeah, no, the kids getting sick is not a highlight.
Right.
I'm not rooting for that. It was just a great week. Making music, fellowshipping, truly a Christ-saturated environment. So it's just a wonderful week. Okay, Phil, what have you been up to in the month since we last spoke?
Yeah, so I think when we recorded our episode, it was at the beginning of the month, and so I was doing jury duty. I think I probably either was about to or was in the middle. I don't think you
mentioned this actually.
I didn't. Maybe I didn't, but so I had jury duty for the first time in June.
Yep.
And that was interesting. I guess I could say now I'm not on the jury, that it was a homicide case, and so yeah, it was crazy. We sat for 4 days. I didn't go to trial, and I don't know if I don't even think when I was dismissed, jury selection was not over. So I've been there for like.
So you were not chosen for the jury.
I was not chosen for the jury,
okay.
And so yeah, and then so while I'm doing that, I'm supposed to be doing music for two VBSs, a VBS at the school where I teach, and a VBS at the church where I attend, where I'm a member. And I don't know why I agreed to do both like a week after each other. I don't know. But so I'm reading over material and like listening to music as I'm like waiting for in between the waiting at jury duty, and I eventually I'm released, and so I start the VBSs, and it was great. I mean, it was great to engage. I mean, I do enjoy teaching, and once as the more I get over like my own personal hangups, and and then do get with the students, I really enjoy teaching. So that was fun. I want to say I think the experience at my church was even more fun because I actually I had a chance to engage with each grade individually, and there were more students. So I think the final number was about 60 students.
Hey.
From pre-K 3 or 4 to 5th grade. And so it was tiring. I left there tired every day because from like 9:40 to like 11:40, I was going through the age groups, and we were singing, moving. I was either reinforcing the lesson that we talked about that day. But for me, and I shared this, that the biggest part was, the greatest part was getting to know the students and them getting to know me. Mm-hmm. Because I don't really have a lot of opportunities, or there's not as many opportunities, and especially in the past few years, right, with the pandemic, we have not had those opportunities, and they've seen me because I'm playing music up front, so they see my face. But it was kind of a different interaction, so that was really great. And now one of the little guys, I think he's a kindergartner. He this past 2 Sundays, he's waving at me every time he sees me. It is great, and I can say, hey, so I know, because I know his name.
Yeah.
So that was great, and I mean, is B back? Hey,
B came back.
B is missing you. B is like, you haven't been home. I would like to see you.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah, we like
conversation.
Yeah, B is like, how much longer are you going? But yeah, really the last thing, and then I mean, of course, like I have to talk about Anais. Anais is walking, and I don't know. I should have recorded this because we were in her room. It was me and her. Wendy came upstairs to say something to her, and she's starting to talk a little bit. She can say hi. Like this morning, she said hi to me, and she'll say bye.
Aww.
She's saying hi and bye and bye. And she said bye to Wendy, and Wendy closed the door, and like for 4 times, she cried every time Wendy closed the door. She was saying bye, but she cried every time she go. And it was so funny, precious, and silly all at the same time. But she she's growing, and it's kind of scary, but and exciting too.
But beautiful.
But beautiful, yes.
Scary, but beautiful.
Scary and beautiful. Yeah.
My daughter does not say English language words to me, sadly.
That we have to figure out that. I'm sure there's some technology out there somewhere for you to be able to talk to your dog.
Google Translate surely will add that
at some point
soon, right?
Yeah, they have to get it. They have to figure that out. The really quick before we finish, what are you doing in July?
Well, yes, I just got back from Chehi. I am here for, let's see, I got back last night, so today was my first full day in Rochester, so I'm here for 3 days.
Wow, okay.
I did not plan enough rest in for this summer, but I am extremely excited to leave on Thursday for a national parks trip. So I will fly to Salt Lake City, renting a car there, and then have a 10-day road trip to Grand Teton, Yellowstone, and Glacier National Parks. A friend of mine who lives in Brooklyn is going to be joining me for the whole trip. 2 friends of ours are going to join us for the first 5 days and fly back to New York from Bozeman, Montana. And another friend of ours, Tim Caldwell, who has been a guest on this podcast, he is going to fly to Bozeman on that same day from North Carolina, and he'll join us for the final 5 days and complete the trip with us. So we've got 5 guys in total traveling for various portions of the trip, and I'm very, very excited for this road trip through the mountains, even if I wish I were starting it a little better rested.
Right. Well, hopefully you can catch up on your rest while you're at home a little bit.
Yeah, I guess 2 more days to maybe sleep in or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and get your laundry clean and stuff like that, huh?
I do have a lot of laundry, yes.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll, I don't know if we want to share anything else, any current events. There's a lot going on. We don't necessarily have to talk about.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it's irresponsible of me to feel this way, but I feel like this has been kind of a fun, light episode, and I don't want to ruin it by talking about the world's troubles.
I mean, I'm not against that. I'm not opposed to that.
All right. Well, we'll keep it light and fun then.
Yeah.
And, dear audience, we hope that you are embracing, like we are, the spirit of the summer and no particular topic, but also the spirit that we founded this podcast on. Just conversations, real conversations between real people that we felt deserved to be recorded. We should have recorded that conversation. We should have recorded that, yes. So that we could go back and listen to it another time. Our summer conversations may be lighter and breezier than our during the school year conversations. But all kinds of conversations have value and worth. And so even if this felt like a total waste of time to you, I had fun anyway.
I enjoyed it too. So please join our conversations. Tell us what you're doing during the summer, or tell us what you're not doing, because
That's
you
right.
know.
Yes, so many ways to engage.
Yes. Are there
All right,
anything
Phil.
else?
No, I think from my end that's all. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, then I will say bye for now.
Adios.